A man is in jail this afternoon after he pointed a gun at somebody during what police are calling a road rage incident last Thursday. A driver called Madison Police at about 10:30 at night after he said a driver pointed a gun at him near the intersection of Milwaukee Street and Sprecher Road. The victim told officers what the person looked like and his license plate information, which helped them find 54-year-old Michael Ring. Police say Ring lives in Cottage Grove and appeared to be drunk when officers got to his house. He refused to take a field sobriety test, so he was taken to the hospital for a blood draw instead. Madison police officers also say they found 2 guns in his car. Ring is facing charges of second-degree recklessly endangering safety, third offense OWI, and being armed while intoxicated.